What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the Us versus Them channel. I'm your host, Vince, and we're here to release the parlays for Contender series tonight. Sorry I couldn't get those to you sooner. Like I said, DraftKings just drags feet just to put fighter props out there. So I really like to do those for sure. There isn't a whole lot of value for money lines. I don't have any money line picks on my parlays. So let's just get into it. Before we start getting into the parlays, though, I want to start giving you guys some just value picks, or picks that I think that there's some value in. If you want to make your own parlay, I know Contender series starts in like 2 hours by the time I get this video out. But if you get a chance to watch this, you can use some of these to build your own parlay. So the first for the first fight, I chose at least a couple parlays for every single fight. So you can, whatever guy you're feeling, you can always incorporate this parlay or these picks in. And like I said, build your own. So for the first fight, Tommy McMillan versus David Moiguen. The first pick that I have, that it's a good pick, is Moiguen by decision. There isn't a whole lot of tape out there for Tommy, so I just trust that he's got a good chin. We haven't really seen him get tested. I do feel like he's competent enough on the ground game to not get submitted. So, and that's where Moiguen's going to look to find finishes on the ground. So I think Tommy will be able to keep himself safe there. So as long as he doesn't get clobbered, the David Moiguen by decision at plus 200 is a really good pick. The second pick that I have for this fight is Tommy McMillan by KO or decision. That prop right now is sitting at a plus 240 for the double chance. And I just think that's a really good pick, honestly. Tommy McMillan could obviously KO him. He does have power in his hands. And he also could obviously win by decision. I don't really see any guy getting a submission here because I do think they're both very competent on the ground. Outside of a club and sub, I'm not really seeing a submission for this fight at all. That's all I got for fight number one. For fight number two, we have Eduardo Enrique versus Antoine Ho. I have two picks for this one as well, and I've been really feeling the pick for Eduardo Enrique, so I didn't really pick anything for Antoine Ho. My first pick that I have is Enrique by KO. I do think that he's got big power in his hands. We all know this. For a flyweight, he's got big power in his hands. So that prop right now is sitting at plus 150. The second prop that I got that I see a lot of value in is Enrique by decision, and that's sitting at a plus 500. Again, I'm not really feeling any submission props on this one, especially for Enrique. He's not really known for his submission abilities, but he's got, he's got huge thunder in his hands. So even if he doesn't finish fights, he's scoring a lot of points, and that can lead to a decision win. Next fight, we got Mandel Nalo versus Samuel Silva. Nalo, the first pick that I have, I've been calling it all week this week, so I want to stay true to my picks. I got Nalo by KO. That prop is sitting at a plus 225 right now. I do think that he's going to be able to start chewing up the legs a little bit of Samuel Silva. And if he increases his output a little bit on his feet, he does carry some power with his big frame. So the knockout prop is there. And if there's any fight where somebody's going to turn up the volume, it's the Dana White Contender Series fight. So I do expect him to, if you've done any film study on Nalo, you can see that sometimes his output's a little bit low, but I think that output is definitely going to be turned up compared to his baseline tonight. The second pick that I got is Samuel Silva by KO or submission. That's another double chance prop. That one's sitting at a plus 130 right now, and Samuel Silva has been the favorite. The line's been shifty really all week for this fight, so this one's a challenging one to predict. I'm not going to lie to you, but I do think this is not going the distance for sure. Both these guys like to finish. Mandel Nalo has never gone to the scorecards, win or loss in his career. And Samuel Silva, he's only been there a couple times. So I don't see this fight going the distance. Next fight we got is Theo Haig versus Cesare Olajejczyk. We broke down this fight already. This is a grappler versus striker matchup. One of the picks that I got for you, it's not my most favorite one of the two, just because you'll see based on the odds. But Theo Haig by submission right now is sitting at a plus 400. This dude only has submission wins, and he's never seen defeat yet. So every single fight that he has been Theo Haig winning by submission. So with that sitting at a plus 400, I had to sprinkle that one out there a little bit. The next pick I got for you guys for this fight is Cesare Olajejczyk by KO. And I know that's kind of a basic pick. This is what this dude's known for. He's predominantly a boxer. He's got really crisp boxing skills. But, obviously he can really catch the chin of Theo Haig, which we've never seen tested, and he might get a knockout there. That prop is sitting at a minus 175. Last fight where I'm going to give you some props before we get into our official parlays. Obviously, it's the feature fight or whatever. Jack Congdon versus Jean Paul Lesbianoni or whatever. The first pick I got for you guys is another basic pick. Jean Paul is really, really known for his grappling skills and his grappling abilities. And I'm super impressed with his ability to choke dudes out, especially those front chokes, those gillies and shit like that. But he can also get on his back and choke him out that way too. So if he gets around Jack Congdon's throat in any way, it's going to be game over. And the one fight where we saw Jack Congdon lose, he was taken down over and over again and eventually wore down and gave up a submission later in the third round. So I think if that dude can submit him, Jean Paul can get the submission too. The only question mark is Jean Paul able to get the fight to the ground? And that's something that it's kind of hard for me to predict. As a betting man, which you know I am, I do think he's going to be able to do that. So the submission prop at plus money, just really good value in that. That's at plus 110 right now. The second prop, and this is a long shot prop. I'm not going to lie to you. But it's a long shot because Jack Congdon is the biggest underdog in the card. Can Jack Congdon win this fight? Of course. It's a fucking fight. We say this all the time on this channel. And if he does get it done, it's going to be by a KO. That prop is sitting at a plus 800 right now. Big prop. Long odds on that one. If you sprinkle that one with one other prop that you like, that is good return on that. So that plus 800, that's his preferred method of victory. So I had to incorporate that one in here. Official parlay time. All right. I got two parlays for you guys. The first one, $10, turns into $205. That's over 20 extra money. It's fucking awesome. This is a 4-leg prop. And like I said, all these picks are true to what I just gave you earlier in this video. Except I do have a couple over-unders that I didn't sprinkle in there earlier. But I do see a lot of value in that. So parlay number one, first leg. I'm going David Moynihan by decision. Like I said, I do believe Tommy McMillan is able to survive. But I'm leaning towards David Moynihan. Being a Sarukian, Armin Sarukian student, it's really hard to pick against him. And he has looked really impressive in the film study that I've done. That's leg number one. Leg number two, we got Eduardo Enrique by KO or decision. That prop is sitting at a minus 120. I really like Eduardo Enrique's paths to victory in this fight. I think he can get it done multiple different ways. But one way I don't really see is him getting it done by submission. So that's why we did our double chance. Next parlay we have, another double feature or whatever it's called. I got Samuel Silva by KO or submission. Again, his opponent has never seen the scorecards. I don't see this fight going to the scorecards here. So I just had to sprinkle that one in there. That's at plus money right now, at plus 130. So you got to give me that one. Last leg on this parlay, we got Jean Paul versus Jack Congdon under 1.5 rounds. If that prop right now is sitting at a minus 160, and if all these four legs hit, $10 turns into $205. Leg number two, it's a little bit more of a long shot, but it's not like anything crazy. I mean, I've given you guys crazier shit on this channel before, but I do think that the reality is these kind of mirror each other in a little bit. So if I'm way wrong on one, I'm going to be really good on the other. So as long as we're not kind of in the middle, which we really haven't been doing that much, we're either pretty fucking close or way the fuck off. So I just had to start playing, strategically and how I've been picking fights recently. And I promise you guys, this channel is going to start hitting. So that's just a different story. I got fucking bet slips to prove it. I hit shit. I just haven't been able to hit it recently. So if we're way off on the first one, here's the second one. And that first leg on that is Theo Haig by submission. Again, that's plus 400. That's the only way his fights have ever gone. Had to sign me up for that. Second leg, we got Tommy McMillan by TKO or decision. Again, I don't see this fight going to submission. It definitely can for sure. But I think, brain fart, I think Moynihan is going to be able to defend himself against the submissions for sure. Outside of a club and sub, I really don't see Tommy McMillan getting a submission here. So at plus 240 for that double chance, there's really good value in that. And the third leg, final leg of this parlay, I got Manuel Nalo versus Samuel Silva under 1.5 rounds. That is sitting at I think a really tasty minus 135. I like that pick a lot. And, those three legs, if they hit, those $10 turns into $295. That's almost 30 extra money. All right, that's all I got for you motherfuckers this video. I really hope one of these parlays hit. I got a good feeling about this one. I say that shit all the time, but I gotta stay positive. I'm not gonna give you negative parlays and have negative energy. So I think this shit is gonna hit, and I'm super excited to make my video tomorrow where I'm kind of rubbing in everybody's faces saying that we fucking hit one. So if you're feeling froggy and you want to sprinkle some money out there, run these parlays, or you can choose build your own parlay like I said earlier in the video. And I'm done yapping, guys. I'm out of here. Enjoy the fights.